Realism in video games, though, not like famous art. It's those little details that like immerse you into the game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is like the king of these little details. Like how Arthur has like hair you need to cut, or when he like falls and takes a tumble, he gets all dirty. Or when you hunt and you have to like watch every disgusting angle of him skinning the poor thing. And also the most important thing to this video anyway is how Arthur can like take a little bath at the hotels on the map. This made me think, what video game character has like the best hygiene? So first we're gonna look at the game that inspired this whole video. Now, to be honest, I haven't really got that far in the story to this game. I've mainly just played online. But it's good that it doesn't really matter for assessing Arthur's cleanliness. Okay, like I said, you can bathe him and clean him and cut his hair and style it, and basically you asked for a cool cowboy adventure, but Rockstar gave you a Barbie doll. The only problem I have with any of this stuff is when I actually played the story, I didn't do any of this, like ever. But I don't think it's that fair to dock points from it because I always had the option to do it. The only way I think it could be better is if there was some sort of bath at the camp. There's a lake right by the camp I'm at now, but there isn't anything like this at the other camps I was at before. And with how I somehow crash my horse every single time I check him out, Arthur is going to need to bathe at least once a day to be clean. Taking all of this into consideration, I'm going to have to give him a solid 6.5 out of 10 on my unwashed gamer scale, 1 being dirtiest and 10 being super clean. Next is Skyrim, the most glitchless game ever. This is one of my favorite games ever made. On this character that I named Prisoner on purpose, I'm basically a walking god. I've saved the world at least 3 times, once from a hungry dragon, once from one of my ancestors or something or whatever, and once from a crazy vampire. I found all these crazy demon relics and solved a civil war going on. But do I smell? Accomplishing all of this was definitely hard work for Mr. Prisoner, and a sweat had to have been broken, especially under this heavy armor, along with the fact that I might get dirty from all these fights. So there has to be something I can do about it, right? Well, there's actually no shower in my house or any type of bath, but I can swim somewhere, I guess. So the first place I found was this pool of water underneath the Dragon's Reach in Whiterun, but after a quick dip, I found a skeleton floating in the water, so... Well, now, obviously, I've contracted some disease from the contaminated pool, so I decided to go to the river right outside the city. I found water that's deep enough to take a dip in, but this can't be the peak of cleanliness. There's no soap, so I'm not really getting super clean, and also you can't find water this deep everywhere in Skyrim, so keeping this as a routine would be impossible. I'm gonna have to give my prisoner here a 3 out of 10 on my scale, just because I can rinse off somewhere, but I can't really get that clean. Have you heard of this guy? In this little cult classic, the main character Mario goes and collects moons to power his ship hat thing. While doing this, he has the ability to capture the other creatures in this world with his hat. I don't really know how this would affect Mario's hygiene because he's like in the hat and the creature, so we're just gonna ignore it. But I do know that when he's outside, he could use a bath at some point. First of all, you can stomp on some of the enemies, and that definitely like squirts out some gross goo all over him. Also, some of these moons, like the jump roping one, really require some sweat to get. Now, while trying to find some sort of bath, I went all around New Donk City, and I couldn't find a single place to rinse off. So, I decided to take my talents to South Beach. Seaside Kingdom has these huge jets shooting up water towards the middle, and I think taking a ride in one of these things has to do some sort of cleaning. This was the best idea I could think of for Mario, but if you have any other ideas, feel free to let me know. Anyway, I'm gonna give Mario a 4 out of 10 because you can only do this in one kingdom that you have to fly to. But you can change outfits a lot, so he has clean clothes at least. Okay, so yeah, I don't even own the story mode for GTA, so I'm just gonna play online because it's free and I'm broke and in college. Falling out of vehicles and getting shot are some of the most common things to happen to you while you're playing GTA. But thankfully, after a long day's work, I can come home and rinse off in this fancy shower. It even looks like I'm using soap in here, which is just incredible. And I can sing! Now, I didn't even know this was a feature in the game until I went out and looked for it, so I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10, just for how hidden it is. Animal Crossing. It's basically just a fishing simulator / bug catching simulator / home designer. A lot of these things can make you pretty dirty, and I don't want my little guy smelling like fish. So I should find some furniture that I can use to clean him up. This game has hundreds of different options for furniture for everyone's home, so everyone will probably end up with different things. So for this section, I'm just going to go over my experience. In my house, I have a bathroom, but nothing in it. But I found this bath in my storage, so I placed it down and got it running. But that's all I could do. What's the use of this thing if all I can do is just turn it on? Anyway, since we're just sticking with my experience, there could be a usable shower in the game, but I didn't find one. So, with all that said, I'm going to have to give my guy here a 1 out of 10 because there's no way to clean him. And I'm only giving 1 point because maybe overnight my guy uses the bath without me knowing. This game is a masterpiece, possibly my favorite game ever. It's basically Breath of the Wild, which was already a masterpiece, but better. You can explore islands in the sky, the surface, down in the caves, or even deeper down in the depths. All of this exploration is probably super exhausting for the main character Link. You can even see the sweat coming off him when he runs. That doesn't even take into account how dirty he gets from the inside of these caves, or how dirty it is fully down in the depths with all that gloom around. Another big part of this game is the combat, and with the amount of enemies you'll fight, it's pretty important that Link gets a bathe at least occasionally. To actually get clean, there's like 3 options. One is the rivers that you find pretty much everywhere throughout the game. Secondly, there are also a bunch of lakes all over Hyrule, but I think I found one thing that beats both of those. Up by the volcano, there's a ton of hot springs that when you take a dip in, they increase your health. This makes me think it's better than the lakes or the rivers, but even better than a shower with normal soap because it restores your health. But sadly, you can only do this in the northeast region of the game, so you can't really do this all the time. I think I'm going to give Link a solid 6 out of 10 just because he can only do this in one corner of the map and everywhere else is just rivers and lakes, but these magical springs bumped up the score a lot. So yeah, that was fun to make. The final rankings are Animal Crossing with a 1, followed by the Dragonborn from Skyrim with a 3, then Mario with a 4, then we have Link who scored a 6, Arthur Morgan with a 6.5, and our winner was my GTA character that got a 9 out of 10. I guess I probably should have expected the character from the most realistic game set in the present to be the most hygienic, but it was still fun figuring it out. This is like the first video I've ever made, so I'll make better ones from here on out. But if you liked it, then like it, I guess. Okay, bye.